Okay then, so before I hit the button, I guess I need to do this. Everybody else does this at the beginning, and why should I be any different? Well, there you go. I'll put that up there at the beginning. We'll see what happens, but let's go ahead and hit the button, see where we go. And there we have it. A new session begins. It's been a week. It is Wednesday, the 13th. Ooh, Wednesday the 13th. Hello, folks. How is everybody? As happy as is possible and as healthy as is possible. I'm hoping everything is status quo on this end. That's some good, that's some bad, but I'm going to try not to get into a whole rage on thing this evening. I think I'm going to try and, I know I say this, I'm going to try and keep it mellow this evening. We'll see how well that does or does not work out. It's been mild here. We haven't seen the sun though. Oh my stars. I don't remember if I was complaining last week we haven't seen the sun, but I can tell you after this week we have not seen the sun. It barely pops out a little bit. I actually got lucky. I played yesterday. Why did I play yesterday? It was a Tuesday. Huh? You played on a Tuesday? Yeah, not only did I play on a Tuesday, but I paid full fare. How about that? That's frightening. What does that say to you? What that says to me is that, wow, you must have really sucked on Saturday. That you had to get the heck right back out at some point just to prevent madness from setting in. Because all of a sudden, wait a minute, I can't do this anymore? Wait a minute, but that's not the case. Anyway, I won't bore you with significant details. Suffice it to say that I went on Saturday. And, you know, I've got my list. I need to do my couple of little things, and as long as I do all of them and keep half a brain working, all should be right with the world. And over the last, couple of weeks, remember, 3 weeks ago, I had a lovely round. All was right with the universe. And then the 2 times after that, both on the weekends, I just like completely fell apart and like, what on earth? And then I figured this, I figured that. Long story short, Saturday was horrible. And I couldn't figure it out as I was going. And I know my list, and I think in the back of my brain, I kind of knew it, but something was like stopping me from doing it. I don't quite know why. And afterwards, it just was like, schmuck, you know what you're not doing. And I knew what I wasn't doing. You guys have been through this with me in the past. My little keys before I hit the ball. I'm not a forward presser. I usually start the swing with my right hip. I bring it back. That initiates a turn. If I want to hit a knockdown, or conceivably it would be a big press with a knockdown, it would be a little press if I'm trying to hit a cut. That forward press thing for me personally seems to encourage sliding, coming off the ball, not to be confused with coming on the ball, but which is a very bad thing to do. You want to turn, you don't want to slide back. Some pros do start with a little bit of sliding back, but they can, obviously go ahead and make up the difference with the turn. I find personally, if I start with a press, my swing, my whole body's gonna come back with the club and not around. I find it just impossible to do if I want to hit a draw. And I found that just the cocking of my hip, as opposed to, let's say, Jack Nicklaus's or some other people, I don't remember off the top of my head, but they initiate their swing with a little tilt to the chin to the right, assuming they're a righty. Look at Nicklaus. Every shot he ever took, he starts with his chin going to the right, which I guess sent the rest of his body in the correct direction. I find that using my hip is what will do that. And for the 2 rounds I had played, I could not figure out why I was not clearing my hips and I was throwing my arms at the ball. And when I throw my arms at the ball, I talk about eliminating the right side of the course. Yeah, I also eliminate the fairway, the immediate left rough, and it goes left from there. But I was throwing my arms at the ball, and then it just didn't dawn on me, or if it dawned on me, I wasn't really paying attention to it. Maybe I thought I was. Nah, who am I kidding? I knew I wasn't doing it. I just ignored it. Anyway, so I wasn't clearing my right hip when I started the swing, and that seemed to be a disaster. I had to. It struck me, I guess, after Saturday. I think I was a little paranoid about it because I kind of remember clearing the right hip to start the swing and burying some of my fairway woods. That would be in my 5, my 7, and my 9. And I don't ever, that really wigged me out. Buried. Behind the ball, it was all weird, out of whack. And usually, give me my 5, my 7, and my 9 every day of the week. They're my go-to babies, especially the 7 and extra especially since I got it for my whopping $49 or whatever it was. And had the guy at the Superstore add an inch to it, my 9 would. So yeah, I think that kind of got into my head. I don't know why, but anyway, longish story short. There were no times available on Tuesday. Nothing, nowhere. Nobody was giving up anything. Way too late, and I decided I would look at Middle Bay, the golf club at Middle Bay, which is on the water in Oceanside, which makes it pretty much along the lines of all the other clubs on the channel, down by the south shore of Long Island, which would be Inwood, Woodmere, not so much on the water, but enough of it was inland. Anyway, Woodmere, Inwood, Lawrence, the Hunt Club, Rockaway Hunting Club, all on the water, and Seawain, Sewanee. So if you know any of those courses, you have a decent idea of what Middle Bay is. Nice and good condition. You can be soggy. I haven't played there this year. I think it was the only time I've been there this year. Mercifully, it has not been raining a lot here. Surprisingly, they call for it almost every day, but we really haven't had any. We just had clouds. It's just been cloudy every day after day after day. I think it's supposed to get a little bit of sunshine the beginning of next week, but the temps are only going to dip for a high into the 60s, low 50s at night, radiational cooling, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be a bit of a drag. It's cooling off, but yeah, we're getting now up to what? Almost the middle of October. It's going to be time to put them all away soon, but I've got my fabulous indoor setup ready to go. If my Spornia compact version of the SPG, if that's what it is, 7 net ever shows up. Last I heard from the Spornia folks, it was sitting on a boat somewhere off the shore of Long Beach, California, waiting for a parking spot. So hopefully that will show up soon. I will do a video, I think, just showing the setup as it is now. And I've made, what have I made? Not a situation. I've made an option for me to use. How's that? I've devised an option until my Spornia shows up, and maybe I'll do a video about that. I can probably do a video about what's in the bag. Go to at some point, if you're interested, we're starting to do videos now. Hit 'em Straight Productions. I should probably have some type of a link to In the Hole, but that involves fart-assing around with the computer. And since Krista has left us, I had to figure out how to post all of these things. And this service doesn't, SoundCloud doesn't talk to Buzzsprout, which doesn't know from GoDaddy, and it's like, You know, I have to triple post things. But I got to get them out there to all you folks. That's important. We want them on the website, and I'm willing. I've learned how to do it. It's not that complicated. It's just the learning part that's annoying. You know, freeing up space in my brain to, you know, actually stop and think and, you know, what I have to do here. But to be with y'all, it's worth every moment of it. But anyway, so we're gonna do videos. I can do what's in the bag. I can do all kinds of neat stuff. So for the moment, we are at Hitem Straight, HITEM. You know, normally it'd be HIT hyphen. No. Ah, what's the little? Anyway, whatever. It would not. What's the little at the top? The one line, not two. Hit them straight, as opposed to hit them. It's hit them. Get it a contraction or whatever the hell it is. Anyway, HITEM Straight Productions on YouTube. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff we can do, which will be fun and quick, not, you know, long and involved like this. This doesn't have to be as long as involved. To do the videos, it makes it easier, I think, just to do them this way. So anyway, so yeah, so I I think I shot, I don't know, 12, 13 shots better yesterday than on Saturday. So yeah, that was it. I wasn't starting with my hip, and if I just was conscious about it and didn't overswing, I kind of screwed up a couple of fairway wood shots, but a couple at least went, you know, kind of sort of in the right direction. At least I hit the damn ball. I didn't throw the club into the ground 2 inches behind it, which, like I said, really wigged me out. I should just, there's a lot of stuff I can still, you know, accept having done as far as mistake-wise. But burying one of my fairway woods in way behind the ball is so utterly unacceptable. It means that I just, you know, slid my body so far ahead that the club is on the way going, oh, yo, whoa, 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 where are you going? Oh, terrible, 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 terrible. Anyway, so yeah, it actually turned out, we did get a bit of sun. And again, this is on Reynolds Channel. If you're familiar with Inwood or Seawain or any of those clubs down there, or Lawrence or a bit Woodmere or the Hunt Club, you know what Middle Bay is like. Nice and decent shape. We haven't had rain here, as I was starting to say. So it wasn't the quagmire that it could be on occasion. And it was fine, but I paid full price, which was, you know, a little annoying, but I couldn't get anything anywhere else, not even Eisenhower, nothing, not even that morning. Bupkis. As it turned out, I was at Middle Bay, it was probably around 10 a.m., and just for the heck of it, I flipped on to the Eisenhower website. I didn't know when I was going to be going out, and actually at 10:30 had popped up, but by then I was on the water. And I figured, you know what, this is a nice, pleasant change. It's a nice course. It's an okay day, as usual. I ridiculously bundled. Why should I be cold? I think I had a t-shirt on, then a turtleneck over that. I put on the vest. I did not take the battery. I did not connect the battery. As a matter of fact, I took the battery out of the vest and put it into the bag, so I did not turn the battery on, and then I had my lightweight jacket over that. And it was a little breezy, It started out of the north, but then it shifted off the water, which is what it tends to usually do every day. So I do have a neck warmer that I threw on. I could have probably just, you know, lifted up the turtleneck also. It would have accomplished the same thing. But the neck warmer, if it really gets nasty, I can yank up and cover my ears too. It's a look. Not much of one, but it's a look. And most importantly, I stay warm. That's important. If I'm out on the golf course, the swinging is bad enough, you know, what it's doing to my poor body. It's all bad enough. But to be cold, though, at the same time, and tense and tight, and talk about really whacking things out. So we wouldn't want to do that. So While I carry a lot of crap to keep myself warm, at least I stay warm. And when it gets to the point where I'm turning on the vest and I'm considering the battery-powered mittens, that's when I know the season's over. Time to clean them off and bring them in, which we are getting to. So, actually, I said it's supposed to cool off next week and it'll get sunny for a few days, which would be a pleasant change. Saturday, of course, is not looking great. They vacillate on the forecast. We're hoping for, I guess cloudy all day. It's supposed to be cloudy, 20 to 30 mile an hour wind or gusts or something, which would really be annoying. And then showers. We have thanks to, I wonder who, we have a 9:48 on the red at the page for this Saturday. I don't know. I don't know what the forecast will hold, but that's where we will probably be teeing off, all things considered. So I hope the day holds out. I don't know, but we are middle of October. We're getting there. We're getting to the point where it's going to be, if I have to tee off and it's 50-something degrees, I don't think so. That's when that's when I'm done. Look, all things considered, I cannot go, well, of course I can complain. I always can complain. But I did make progress this season. Am I going to break 10? No. Am I going to break 10 next season? I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb and say I think I may. I'd like to get into, even if it's just for a week or two, I'd like to get back down to single digits just to say I did. Print out the card, say, hey, I did it here, and then I did it briefly again here. So we'll see. I started feeling my wrist a little bit. I don't know what that's all about. I haven't been hitting a lot of shots in my new home hitting area at all. And when I do, I'm extraordinarily conscious of not bashing down and doing damage. But I haven't felt it all year. I have not felt it all year. The tennis elbow has been taking precedence. That's been the big one this year. Although back at the beginning of the season, holy crap. I remember that first day on a red course. I'm sorry. Come on, Fred. The first day out on the white course. And I think, didn't remember the next day. The next day out of nowhere, it started to go bye-bye. And then by the afternoon, later in the day, whenever it was, I was laid up for a couple of days. It was not a good thing because I didn't do my little exercises that I usually do during the winter to simulate a swing. You take an exercise band, you would step on and do curls or presses or something like that, and it's got a little thing you put on it, slide on it, and you can put it in a door, and you can use it to stretch and what have you. I use that and I simulate golf swings with it. I hold it like I'm holding, you can't hold exactly like you're holding a club because it's two handles, but you hold the two handles as one, and basically you create a little tension as you step away, and then you just swing. Boom. You feel that. I do 25 one way, I turn around, do 25, I turn back, I do another 25, and I turn back again, yet again, I do another 25. That's my set 100 of those. And I do that, if I'm not playing, it'll be twice a week, which is how I usually run the body. What's left of it, I guess during the winter I'm going to go back to a 4-day split. I used to do a 3-day split, shoulders, upper back, followed by back and biceps, and then chest and triceps, nothing out of the ordinary. Legs would be the 4th day. But since I walk at the golf at least once a week, and the other 6 days I'm either on the treadmill, walking, or on the boardwalk, I don't train my legs specifically. Oh, and then I ride the bike. I've been riding the bike. This is 2 summers now in the afternoons. The bike has been put away. By the way, that's done. That's completely done. Cold enough, and then send me, 10, 15 miles an hour into the wind. No, that's done. I actually took a ride down to the boardwalk at Long Beach. When was it? I guess not last weekend. Was it this Sunday? Nah, it was probably the Sunday before that. Sunday a week ago. Where are we? What's today? No, maybe no. Was it this Sunday? Oh boy, there that goes. Anyway, it was a Sunday. Either last Sunday or the one before that. I played so badly, but did I go to the boardwalk that Sunday? This very Sunday? Lord help me, I don't remember. Anyway, so I rode the battery down like I told you to. They say write it down to whatever percent. And I took it off and put a little air out of the tires and lifted it onto its gadget. And it just kind of hangs on. And it's just going to now hang on until the spring. I get back out again. Same thing with the boardwalk. Finished there. Oh my God, finished there a couple of weeks ago. I've been back on the damn treadmill in front of the TV. Yuck. Yuck-a-doody. But anyway, so Middle Bay was actually very nice. I played much better. Got a little tired at the end and screwed up a bit. But again, like I said, 12, 13 shots better than when I played on Saturday. So even if I threw 2 of those away that I probably shouldn't have, so if I could have been 14, 15 shots better. So that was a little bit of a positive experience that I needed, because I was like, oh my God, what if the weather completely goes off the cliff? And like that was my last round of the season. I said, that is no good. That cannot end that way. Not acceptable. Hang on. So we'll see what happens with the weather Saturday, and then, on a week-by-week basis. I mean, at this point, I guess I should consider it gravy, don't you think? Anyhow, okay, fine. So that covers all of that good stuff. Story. Story real quick. A golf person, a golf gentleman, a golf man is walking out of the supermarket. And he's trying to get into his car, and he's got 2 big bags of groceries, and they're completely full, and his hands are completely occupied. And he's standing by his Cadillac, and it dawns on him that the key fob is in his pocket, and he can't get into his pocket to get the key to get into the car. So, as it happens, a lovely blonde lady was passing by, and she stopped and noticed his predicament. She said, may I help you? And he was like, wow, that would be very kind of you. I can't get my key out of my pocket to get into my car. My Cadillac needs the little button thing. So the woman goes, well, can I help you? And he goes, yes, actually, if you would just go fishing around in my pocket and grab the key, that would really be very helpful to me getting my 2 full bags of groceries into my Cadillac. So, blonde takes her hand, she digs into the guy's pocket, fiddles around a little bit. You think you know where this is going, but get your minds out of the gutter. Not this time. Not this time at any rate. So, she fiddles around for a few moments and whoop, pulls her hand out, and sure enough, there's the key. But remember, our boy is a golfer. So at the same time, he had a couple of tees in his pocket along with the key. So when she pulled out the key, the 2 tees popped out and fell on the ground. Now, the blonde looks at these, and evidently she knows nothing about golf. She goes, what are those things? And the golfer looks at her and says, well, those are the things that keep my balls in the air when I'm driving. And the blonde stops for a moment and she goes, wow, those Cadillac people think of everything. Yeah, okay. I almost butchered that one. I was close. I almost butchered it, but we just kept on going and everything turned out okay. Where are we? Oh, look where we are already. Oh, okay. Let's get to the tours, and then I've got a list. I know, surprise and shock. The PGA, the Shriners, was last week. Sung Jung Im was our winner. The guy that plays more golf than anyone on tour, probably more golf than any 3 guys on tour combined. For a while, he was playing literally pretty much kind of sort of every week on tour and living out of hotels, which people were going, oh my God, this poor guy, he's, on the road living out of hotels and all that, blah, 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 blah. He evidently traveled with his parents also, which was nice, bring the folks along. What you have to remember, though, is he's from China. Uh, Not for nothing, but he said he couldn't have been happier in life than going from hotel to hotel to hotel. And if you stop and you think about it, from where he probably came from, think about that and going to all of a sudden, I'm guessing he's a PGA Tour pro with an agent and endorsement deals, and he's making cuts and all of that. So he's not staying in a Motel 6. You know what I mean? He's probably in hog freaking heaven. He must be one happy guy. He evidently has since bought a house. I'm not quite sure where it was, in Arizona, Florida, wherever the hell it is. He has bought it, but he has still playing a lot of golf. I guess you can get away with that when you're young. For the rest of us, not so much. Anyhow, this week they're playing the CJ Cup. That'd be the PGA. The Euros. Rafael Cabrera Bello was your winner at the Open de España last week. This week they're playing the Andalusia Masters. Wasn't that where that Disney movie, Enchanted? Isn't that where they all came from? Andalusia? Or something like that, where Giselle, I love Giselle. Giselle! Oh, I thought I love Giselle. I want to be here one of these days and have her sing with me. We all know who Giselle was, right? I don't have to tell you. I was actually in a movie. That's right. Wow, I hadn't even thought about that. Holy crap. Giselle and I were in the same movie. Ha! Look at I never pieced that together. I mean, I knew it, but I never connected the two of us. Wow. Giselle, let's not forget the fact that the other person in this same movie as I, who actually was in, get ready for it, the same scene as I, and that being none other than, you have to stop and say, so hold it and give thanks. That would be none other than Meryl Streep. I wonder if I've expressed the story before of how that came to be. But anyway, Giselle, Amy Adams, is in the same damn movie. We were not in any scenes together. We didn't do any shooting together. We were never on set together, unlike Meryl and me. That's, I'll give it a real quick, because no, I'm not going to do it. Forget it. We'll do the Meryl Streep in my movie scene story another time, because we're talking about Giselle right now. Anyhow, so yeah, she and I were in the same movie, and that is son of a gun. That movie being Julie and Julia. Look it up. We should run a contest to see who can find me in that movie. Ha! How about that one? Now, I will admit, I was background. I consider myself, of course, featured background. And I consider myself featured background because I know for a fact that either Meryl Streep and or Nora Ephron, our fabulous director, were both aware of me, and one or both of them went out of their way to put me in the scene I was in, and suffice it to say that that scene included only 3 people, of which I was one. So, let's have a little contest. Go out there and go watch Julie and Julia. Again, if you haven't seen it, most people have, in which case, surprise, you've seen me. See if you can find me. And then let me know where you found me, and I'll let you know if you're right. And, you can enjoy the movie again. It was a good movie. And just keep in the back of your brain and look for me, see if you can find me. Anyhow, so there you go. That was the Andalusia, as opposed to Andalusia, or I don't remember what they called it, Andalusia. in the cartoon, or the live, or the Disney, or the whatever it was. Okay, the LPGA, the Founders Cup, Jin Young Ko was our winner. They are off this week, and I didn't jot down where they're playing next week. Last week's Constellation Furyk and Friends was won by Phil. Philly Mick was the winner. This week they're playing the SAS Championships. So there you go. Anybody see the fight Saturday night? Since we're not necessarily locked into golf all the time, although we are going to get back to golf. I have my golf list, as I always do. But did anybody see the fight? It was a bit of a barn burner, but it came off exactly. It was funny. I kind of had the same feeling. I read it somewhere where somebody said Wilder had 4 rounds to take care of Fury. After that, it was all over. And son of a gun, after the 4th round, you could see Wilder he was a bleary-eyed. He just, oh my stars, he was one tired puppy. I guess when you're that big, you can only go so long. But that was quite the fight. I tried to go see it one place. I called ahead. I think they said it's $10 if you want to come. And I said, fine, for $10 I'll go stand at the bar and have a soda. Or some chips or whatever, and I'll enjoy the fight. So I go to the place, the doors are locked. A woman comes in behind me, waves at somebody. They open the door, and I stand there at the door after she walks in into a very tall door person. And I'm like, because there's all these people inside, you can see the TVs and what have you. I go, the fight? He looks at me, goes, $30. I go, what? I said, not for nothing. I said, but I called before, and the guy I spoke to said it was $10. I'm starting to feel there's something afoot here. And hell, I'm just looking to go watch a fight. I'm not looking to play games or waste a moment of my valuable, what's left of my life. So he was like, well, there's something about the guys at the door. I'm like, you know what? Not a problem. And I knew that they were called to walk in, do the ring walks at about 11:30. So they're going to be 15, 20 minutes late doing that. At best, they're going to start walking in 11:45, 10 to 12, Eastern Daylight Time. Having been through many of these, I could tell you the story of one fight we went to see 100 million years ago that was closed when it was closed circuit. That was the only way you'd go to an auditorium. And we went to an auditorium in a place where we probably shouldn't have been in this auditorium. And suffice it to say that all hell broke loose. And there were several thousand people in this auditorium where we probably should not have been to begin with. That was an interesting evening, to say the least. But anyway, getting back to this, I looked at the guy and said, no worries. You have a great night. Turned around, got back in the car. Zipped over to Green Acres. I don't know, at that time of the evening on a Saturday night, it was a 6-7 minute ride. There was a very lovely buffalo wings and things or something place. I pulled up to, there was a spot by the front door. Pulled into the spot, walked in the door. I'm surrounded by 800 TV sets, and 750 of them have the fight on. So I went found a little corner and just tucked myself in and enjoyed the fight. So that was that. But now it's getting, it was a severe beating. We knew that after the 4th round that was the way it was going to go if he didn't take him out, although he certainly made it interesting, Wilder, by knocking Tyson down a couple of times, which brings us to an interesting point. It seems that Tyson Fury received what's commonly referred to as a long count. At one point, evidently, I have not gone and reviewed the tape or what have you, but since enough people have mentioned it, obviously it happened. What happened, I don't know if it was the first knockdown or the second knockdown, but after the knockdown started, the referee started the count to 10, but stopped counting. Doesn't mean the count stops, but stopped counting to usher Wilder or tell Wilder to go into a neutral corner. You then go back and you are supposed to resume the count where it was. If it took you, if you were at 5, it took you 3 seconds to tell him to walk away. When you come back, you look at the guy, by the ringside with the numbers or however they let the referee know. And, boom, 8, 9, 10. Evidently, that's not what happened. He picked up the count, I believe, at an incorrect point that gave Fury extra time. Evidently, all things being equal, he should have been counted out, which, wow, that would have changed history. Stuff like that happens all the time, though. I don't know if anybody been watching any baseball. You know what? Lose the box. If you're not going to have the box, call the strikes. You know what I'm saying? Whisper it into the home plate umpire's ear and let him call it. But it irks the shit out of me. That stupid box just sits there, and the balls don't make it into the zone of strike, but they're still called strikes. It's a lot. It's not like occasionally. And the commentators, they sat, they're sitting there like idiots going, okay, well, there you go. They've done it with the damn tennis. No, I shouldn't say damn tennis. That's terrible of me. Tennis is a very nice sport. I apologize. I take that damn back. Tennis has done nothing to be damned. But they've gone to the electronic, and that's the end of it. Who's McEnroe going to argue with? Who's Connors going to argue with? They had that nonsense back then, right? Could you imagine? Talk to the computer. Talk to the hand. That would have been funny. That really would have sucked the air out of poor Johnny Mac. Who are you going to complain to? Don't complain to the computer. Ha ha. Anyhow, they need to do it with baseball or just lose the damn box. That's just like, once you put a huge flashing, sign on the top of the screen, our umpires suck. Our umpires suck. Come on. I read an article somewhere, probably the Times. They can be, 15, 20, 25% off on calls in certain, I don't know, time situations. Am I exaggerating? I don't know. It just seems like it's an awful lot of times where, it just wasn't a strike and it's called a strike. You never see it where it is a strike and it's called a ball. I don't think you ever see that. I'd have to think about that. But no, I don't think so. It's generally, that it just misses the strike zone. I don't know. I find it very irksome. Anyhow, no baseball. No baseball on tonight. No bocce ball. Where are we? Where was I? Constellation. Okay. NFL. Should we do NFL? Somebody called it what? The Neanderthal Football League? Gee, they're racist. They're misogynistic. That's a rotten word. And homophobic. The NFL? No. Really? Big surprise. Tell me something I don't already know. We can move on from that, Gee, really? Fury the Long Call, I mentioned that. Here's a freaky one. Has nothing to do with anything. There's a guy named Gary Maynard. Gary Maynard was evidently some type of a professor in criminology out in California who specializes in deviancy. There's a title for you, right? Professor of criminology who specializes in deviancy. Well, I guess he must be like my old girlfriend, Dr. Ellen. Dr. Ellen von Wiener. She was a psychologist, a PhD, back a long time ago. Her specialty was addiction. And she believed that the best way for her to be able to treat her patients was, and understand their condition, was to basically go out and get addicted to everything she could possibly get herself addicted to. She was a hoot. I don't know what that has to do with anything. It just reminded me of. I actually still run into her. I hadn't seen her in, oh my God, 35 years. And she turned up in the neighborhood one day. I don't even remember the first time I saw her was, but I was like, whoa. He said, is that you? It was pretty funny. I think it was in front of Key Food in Woodmere, maybe. That was it. Dr. Elioso von Wiener. He said, is that you? And sure enough, it was pretty funny. I actually stumbled across a picture of us when she and I were an item. Again, 100,000 years ago. Probably the best picture I ever took. Damn, I look good in that picture. I look in the mirror now and I obviously just want to cry. But damn, I think we were at Club Med together. We took a vacation. I was in the alarm business. My boss's guy that owned the company, his wife set me up with her. She was flabbergasted that we ended up actually going out for a while. She was like, I was just, setting you up to get lucky. I said, yeah. We actually were planning to go into a business together, but she was such a lunatic that fell apart. We were actually going to put together a clinic for very rich people that needed rehab, and rehab, in very, very nice surroundings on the QT. And there was none of that back when we were talking about this. This is back in the, early 70s, maybe. And she was just such a freaking Fruit Loop that never happened, which is a shame. She actually apologized to me 35 something years later. She goes, I know I was a mess. She goes, but that could have worked. I go, yeah, that could have worked. Anyway, the point in all of this gets us back to Gary Maynard. Gary Maynard, criminology professor who specializes in deviancy, was arrested. Why was he arrested? He was caught lighting wildfires in California. File that under. You really can't make this one up either. Okay, I've got to move along because I'm looking at the time. I know, it's time to move along. There's just so much stuff I love sharing. Okay, this is golf now. Let's just do golf. We'll finish up with just doing that. I think that'd be a pleasant change. Kidding. Anyway, Harris English, issue with the Ryder Cup. Maybe you heard about, maybe you haven't heard. Oh, do I have oh yeah, there it is, okay. Something else just popped into my brain that was actually very important in the world of golf that I'll get to in a moment. Harris English has been playing with the same putter grip, funky as this may sound, for, according to him, possibly 8, 9, or 10 years. The same putter grip. It is so old and so funky that it evidently started to separate and fold over itself. And somebody, either on TV or from the European squad, complained that his putter grip was non-conforming. And guess what? The officials looked at it and agreed that it was non-conforming and he could not continue to play with it. Evidently, co-captain Davis Love, line, pulled out a knife, proceeded to cut off the offending flap. Evidently, that's what happened. A piece of it kind of I guess, falls to, kind of hangs to the side there, creating a flap. Evidently, they removed the flap and put some type of gauzing or something around it so that the two pieces were even, level with each other. And I guess it was then deemed to be conforming because he went ahead and continued to play with it. I wonder whether it's still that way or he's actually just going to step up and put a new grip on it. In all fairness, I've been playing my Scotty. Well, my Scotty's a rubber grip. It's got no fabric or anything else. That grip, biodegradable in, I don't know what, 30,000, 40,000 years or something like that. So there's no issue with my little Ping blackout grip degrading anytime soon, but I've been playing with that for, a very long time because it's just a rubber grip and you can play with those for a long time. For some reason, this thing is, I actually mentioned, did I mention a week ago, I actually found a spare just in case because I know I've gone through the saga of getting that onto that grip off the old shaft and onto my new stability shaft that I ended up going to Pete's. Yay! Give it up for Pete's over on off Glen Cove Road on Jericho Turnpike. Is it Jericho Turnpike? Yeah, I think it's Jericho Turnpike. Anyway, go to Pete's. Pete's is a great place. They're worldwide famous, one of the best fitting places, on the planet. And just go check it out. Good place. Anyhow, so they managed to save the grip, but I did find another one on the Bay of E, and I purchased it. But you touch that, supposedly brand new, and as opposed to mine, which has been through a million seasons, and it's as good can be. I have no issues with it. It still has plenty of tackiness to it. Not too much though. Not like the other, with the Tacky Max and stuff like that. Those are really tacky. I never cared for those personally. I mean, they're still good grips, and a lot of people use them and like them. Just not for me. But I don't mean tacky. Just the grip is still good. It's good, and it's been good for years, and it will continue to be good for years on my Scotty. Love my Scotty. We haven't gone into the Scotty story recently. We'll do that at some point. Another time also. I know I bought my range. Oh, I love my new rangefinder. I know I mentioned I bought my new to me, not new, my Bushnell V5, and I got to use it in anger over the weekend and on Tuesday. I like it. I like it a lot. It's fast. Bang. How you doing? Have a nice day. It had one issue, one time. It didn't seem to like a red flag I was very close to. And there was no reason it should have had a problem with it. It eventually got it, but it was having an issue with it. But for the most part, great. Aim, hit the button, and I'm the shaky one, not the gadget. And I got it a couple of times where I might have moved around or whatever. When it locked on the flag, it actually did the jolt thing. Little red circle went boop, boop, and you felt the thing go in your hand, which I thought was really cool. So I'm very happy with my new purchase. I had looked at the Nikon rangefinder. I forgot what it's called, the newest model, the 2 or whatever it is. Cool vision, cool shot, cool something or other. Very, very good reviews. And what's nice, it's expensive, but what's nice is it's got built-in image stabilization. That means, pretty much no matter how much I'm shaking while I'm holding it, it's going to stay still. And that was a major point that I was thinking about really maybe stepping out and making that purchase instead of the Bushnell. But then I ran into a deal buster. And what do you think the deal buster was? I wonder whether this makes sense or whether I'm just being a complete pachech about it. The deal buster was the Nikon Cool Shot, I think is what it is. Cool Shot is pretty much all white. The entire thing, the case and all of that good stuff, it's white. And for some reason, as I looked at it, I stopped and the first thing that went into my mind was, oh my God, after 2 seasons of handling this thing with, golfy, grimy, dirty hands, it's going to be like a horror to look at. So that actually was a deal breaker for me. I ended up going with the Bushnell. But I can't understand. It's the only rangefinder I've ever seen that's white. Why would you make something like that in white? I don't know whether it might be a type of plastic that you can keep clean. It wouldn't be an issue, but I can't see that. I cannot see how the thing would not get disgusting in no time at all. They're going to get disgusting either way, but at least when it's, black and gray, dark gray, you can't really see how disgusting it is unless you're talking about my old Bushnell, I forgot what the hell model, Pro something or other, where it was, I wore through the rubber in places. I've used it for so many years. Hey, look, I don't mind spending a few bucks on something good, but I'm going to use it to death. My irons at this point are from when, 2013, 2014. I love them. I'm not changing them. There's no need to. You think I play enough that I'm going to put little spots on them from hitting the ball in the same spot every time like a pro and have to, go swap out my iron sets twice a season because I hit so many balls? Nah, I don't think that's going to be the case at all. Okay, moving along. USGA video. Why do they have people from speaking English who are actually English on USGA videos? They can't find a narrator who's from the United States. I strongly doubt that you would ever get a RNA video of any type, any kind, anywhere ever that had somebody stateside doing the narration. Why do they always throw these English-speaking people in golf stuff over in America? What's wrong with the American announcers? Buy American. That's right, America first. Hang on a sec. Nectar of the gods, as I say. Okay, all right, moving along. Oh, Brooks and DeChambeau. Brooksy and Bryson, 12-hole match at the Wynn Golf Course or something, right where the old Desert Inn used to be in Las Vegas. I went to the Desert Inn as a child. We did a California trip, probably 2 weeks, 3 days at Bryce and Zion and the Grand Canyon, and some reason we stopped in Vegas on the way back, I guess. I wasn't allowed into the casinos. I wasn't allowed anywhere. I don't even remember a damn thing about it, just that I wasn't allowed to go in anywhere. So that was kind of a waste of time. But anyway, so that's where they're playing. I think the rate to play that particular course is around $600 a round. I'm not sure, but I guess it's better than playing the other ex-Wynn. Wynn is no longer associated with Wynn. Being yet another guy with more money than he's got brains, it just can't keep his you-know-what in his pants, and got in trouble for it. Whatchamacallit? I was going to say something, but I'm not now. I stopped myself. If I stop myself, I stop myself. Anyhow, so they're playing a 12-hole match, which could be interesting. Let's see what the routing is. Evidently, the 18 holes for charity matches that have been played recently have been less than exciting from a viewer's standpoint. I wouldn't know because I haven't watched any of them. There was one pay-per-view. I'm going to pay-per-view to watch anybody play golf. What are you, nuts? But anyway, there have been a few of these charity events, and they're evidently knocking it down to 12 holes to try and make it a little more interesting. Okay, I'm good with that. Next item. Oh, if you're going to write about golf, get your terms straight. I read an article where somebody was talking about Phil Mickelson on a tee shot, and the line was, Mickelson shoved his ball into the right trees. No, Phil Mickelson did not shove his ball. Phil Mickelson is a lefty. For him to shove his ball would be a push. A push for Phil would be into the left trees. What Phil did was either yanked or pulled his ball into the right trees. Watch out. That's a rookie mistake. You shouldn't make that. Okay, here's a biggie. So I'll save the biggie to finish. Okay, let's do the other things real quick, and then I'll save the biggie to finish. Quick rules thing. You're on a green. There's a branch in your way. You ask for that branch to be removed. That's okay. But believe it or not, the person that puts next, if they want that branch replaced, you must replace it. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was interesting. He's entitled to have the green the way it was when he arrived, but you are entitled to get the object out of your way. So that's interesting. Tiger, speaking of, no, I'm not going to say it. Tiger was spotted on the range watching the kid play. He had a sleeve of some kind on his leg. He evidently is planning on coming back. He's planning on playing golf again. Boy, I got to tell you, Tiger, old boy, that's a hell of a way to get attention to keep yourself relevant. I must say, I got to figure there's got to be a zillion more ways you could have gone to keep people interested in you without doing what you did to yourself. I'm never going to understand that one, but you're lucky. You literally may walk away at some point, although you're going to feel that shit for forever. That kind of nonsense just never goes away, and I don't know. Everybody's kind of shrugged their shoulders and moved on, but seriously, dude, taking the S-curve in your SUV at 90 miles an hour at 7:30 in the morning, who does that? I don't get the thought process. Anyway, Oh, that's something else about football, but we're not going to get back to it now. If you decide to set yourself up with a home hitting uh, situation set up, be careful when you buy the mats. Be careful you don't hit down. You're going to hurt your wrist. Be careful. I like the stuff that I got. I forgot what it's called off the Flight Deck, I think it is. Very expensive, but they'll sell you an oval for $50 on a nice pad. You just need to raise yourself up with a standing pad so that you're at the same level as the ball. You don't want it an inch and 3/4 above your feet. Just be careful you sweep. Don't hit down. You screw your wrist up. Guaranteed. And you don't want to do that. It's no fun. Like I said, I'm going to do a video at some point of my little new hitting setup here. How to do it for, well, forgetting the mat, how to have an indoor range for, get ready for this, under $100. I had a guy, yeah, I can set up a thing, and it's going to cost you less than $2,700. And I'm laughing. Now, admittedly, this one actually included, I think it was a flight scope or something that had a projector that was going to, shoot it on. And I'm going to have none of that. There's no flight scope. There's no launch monitor. There's no nothing. I don't need to know how fast I swing it or where it's going to go. When I hit it, I know where it's going to go. I can tell where it's going to go. Not to worry. The whole point in my little setup for this winter is going to be just to maintain some type of a feel so that I'm not coming out stone cold like I do every season and, making a complete mess out of myself until my body finally, wakes up and realizes what's going on, which takes months. By then, season's half over. Okay, so let's end on the biggie because we're getting there. I still have stuff on the list. My star. How about this one? How about, remember I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that one of the guys I was playing with when I happened to be at Eisenhower commented, how long have you been playing? And I told him, kind of sort of forever. And he goes, yeah, because you're really good. I'm like, I'm turning around, huh? Who? You dress? Who are you talking to? And of course, it totally like wigged me out. And I, probably went to pieces after that. And I couldn't hit the ball with this shit. But it happened again. It happened yesterday when I played. It was par 3. I hit a not particularly great low hooking 5-iron that happened to hit in front of the green, whatever the hell the par 3 it was, probably about 175, 180 yards, and actually ran onto the green. And I'm standing there saying to myself, at least it went in the right direction. And one of the guys that I'm playing with just walks over as we're heading out down the fairways and goes, you've got one sweet swing. I'm like, say what? I'm like, well, I look at I go, well, thank you. And I was sincere, that was a very nice compliment to pay me. But I'm like, oh my God, no, don't tell me that. Please don't. I'd rather just hear I suck. Well, we'll see how that ends up being next summer. But here's the big thing to finish on. I really I didn't see that coming at all. Not that I ever would, but I'm like, okay, I guess getting that hip out of the way when I start to swing is probably going to be a plus. Wait, hang on a second. Quick plug. For anyone that's still with me. There you go. Okay, big finish. The USGA and the R&A in their infinite wisdom for professional tours and elite amateur competition have put a new rule, a new option for a local rule to be in effect at any pro tournament or elite amateur competition, reducing, I know we mentioned this, it was on the horizon, reducing the length of a driver from 48 to 46 inches. Now, technically, any club, with the exception of a putter, but since only drivers are anywhere near that long, it obviously only affects drivers. Nobody's hitting a 48-inch, 5-wood, unless they're a trick shot artist person doing trick shot artistry. Anyway, so that was a big newsy. Philly Mick, our boy, was clearly unhappy about it. And basically, guys are shrugging their shoulders and saying it is what it is. They don't necessarily agree with it. What are your thoughts? When I give you our email, which I'm going to do shortly, because it's about that time, send us a note. What do you think about shrinking the driver length from 48 to 4? Now, you don't have to. Evidently, it's an option. You can make a local rule, but evidently all the tours are going to enforce it, and all the elite amateur competitions are going to do the same. So, pretty much makes it a rule. They're not touching my 48-inch driver, and bless their hearts, because don't even think about trying. Not gonna happen. 48, baby. I'd whack 48 inches. And there's a whole kerfluffle back and forth about whether going longer, while you will get more distance and more speed, you'll actually hit it worse. And I believe, I know I read at least one study that actually went ahead and made the difference, made a study of giving people different lengths of drivers and then comparing the results, better, worse, same, whatever. It turned out that you did gain distance, and evidently you did not NOT, because Justin Thomas this week, when asked about it, said, well, you know, the longer you get, the less accuracy you get. Evidently that is not necessarily the case, because this one particular study, it might have been done by My Golf Spy. I'm not sure. You can look it up and see if it's out there somewhere. But very simply said that increasing the driver length to 48 inches did not affect accuracy, plain and simple. So, on that note, find us everywhere we can be found. Instagram, In the Hole Podcast. Twitter, In the Hole Pod. Facebook, we're In the Hole. Our website, of course, intheholepodcast.com, where I am going to load this week's episode in as soon as I get it back from our man, our sound guy. You know, you always got to call the guy if you want it done right. Chris Pummel and his fabulous sidekick, Victor, who's always at the ready. That email, if you want to join us with emailing at 4FORE, of course, at intheholepodcast.com. And wow, it flies. I swear, every time I say we're going to, and I'm barely getting warmed up and we're done. Okay, so that's it then. Thank you for being here, sharing and caring. And I guess we'll just get together and do it again next week. Plain and simple. Please get your shots if you haven't. I know we say it every week. I'm not going to get into a rant or a tirade. The economy and stuff is not doing well. We need to be doing better. We should be doing better. We were all so hopeful at the beginning of the summer, and things have slowed. Let's see if we can turn it all around. That's it. We love you. Till next week. Peace out. Same thing to y'all. Peace out. Ah!